what you gonna say. Now, that's why they starting fights. Everybody question them on their doctrine. They're like, let's go out here and fight Palestinians. Yeah, don't worry about that. Just to distract you from what we said years ago. Exactly. Go out here and fight for the Lord. They have started fighting. Oh, y'all see, I seen it this morning. Sakari going out to colleges and fighting Palestinians too. They doing the same thing too. They following knock-arms, you know. I'm like, oh Lord, the gimmicks has got to come out. The boss is speaking loud. Don't worry about that. I said that because everybody probably putting on their garments like, hey man, I see micro CHIP. I heard a lot of stuff about the money going digital. I heard the dollar's about to crash. Hey man, you know what? Hey, I've been watching Great Millstone. You know, I'm about to take off my IUIC garment. I'm over at Great Millstone, Apostles and Elders. You know, knock out a whole group. He had a whole camp fall out and come to the brothers in the truth. Great Millstone. Hey, it's the time to get right, man. Don't have no. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, and verse 17. And it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the words at my mouth, and give them warning from me. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Kakadash. And I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of the Great Millstone for the truth, 100% securely. I'd like to give a salutation to the Akim and Aqua who are listening and studying to sort ourselves approved. This is Brother Bayan from the Tulsa, Oklahoma, Hebrew Israelite Camp, coming back to you with another quick lesson. And the title of this lesson will pretty much be the latest news on the either the petrodollar or pretty much just simply the latest news, okay? And as you seen in the opening clip, you know, me and the Akim, Tayasarala, and Kadar Sahan, we was all on the highways and byways, and we were just basically discussing how things are and how we getting ready to head to the beginning of sorrows, okay? And so you heard the Tayasarala was pretty much just said is that the prophecies are speaking loud and clear, okay? And so you got Bishop Nate, you know, you got WFI, all of these other camps who pretty much still going to preach that madness, saying that the mark of the beast is anything besides that micro CHIP, all right? So like, basically they're still saying that the mark of the beast is sin, okay? And so, again, you know, the prophecies are speaking loud and clear. And so with everything that's happening around the world, it's leaning towards the RFID-CHIP, okay? And so let's read Ezekiel 3 and 17 again. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the words at my mouth and give them warning from me. And so this is that warning to let you know, like the most recent event, it's all pointing toward that micro CHIP, okay? And so, which I got a couple of articles which is going to go into that. All right, verse 18. And it says, When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, thou givest him not warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked way. Okay, you got Bishop Nate, who pretty much going to Bishop Nate, WFI, all this other group, who pretty much say that the mark of the beast is anything besides the micro CHIP. They're persuading those people to go take it. Eventually they're going to take it, especially when the dollar crashed, okay? Because that's what we're heading to. That's the latest news, is the dollar is getting ready to crash, all right? So read verse 18 again from the top. It says, When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. So this is why we're telling you, do not take that mark of the beast, which is that RFID-CHIP, okay? That is the mark of the beast. So here it is. We got, you know, the true prophet that's telling you what the mark of the beast is, and we're telling you don't take it. And then you got the other prophet, the false prophet, who are going around saying that the mark of the beast is sin, which is ultimately leading them to that destruction, okay? Verse 19, and it says, Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. All right, and that's the whole point of us doing these video epistles day in, day out. All right, and if you know, you heard, cause really, at this point in time, it ain't gonna be no excuse. Even though you got those false prophets that's telling you the mark of the beast is sin, Great Millstone and pretty much the affiliate camp is coming out and they're preaching that message and they're telling you like, hey, this is the mark of the beast is RFID Okay, we're telling you this. That's damn near in every video, right? And so it's no excuse after that. And so since you heard our message, we're not gonna have our blood. Salaki, we're not gonna have your blood on our hand, all right? But your blood most likely gonna be on Bishop Nate. Actually, I had did a lesson a little while ago saying Bishop Nate and them got a lot of blood on their hand because they're misleading and guiding their flock down the wrong path, right? And so real quick, let's get into these articles. All right, and this is the first article right here, which is an article from Watcher.guru, and the title of this article is De-Dollarization Becoming a Reality, right? And as you read on in the article, it said the BRICS alliance kick-started to the de-dollarization initiative earlier this year, and a handful of countries are considering dissing the U.S. dollar for global trade. While the idea of de-dollarization seems to be laughable at first, BRIC is making the turn to reality. It said not only follow up with the de-dollarization effort this year, it is also convincing other countries to end reliance on the U.S. dollar. And it says the BRICS, the ASEAN, and the SCO group are now seriously considering the de-dollarization initiative to lift their native economies. A handful of countries in Africa, in South America, and also it is also on the sideline and could join the bandwagon soon. If many more countries switch to trading in local currency, the U.S. dollar will slip into a path of decline. All right, and so and then you got that article, right? And then you got this next article right here where it said the Saudi Arabia lined up new trade deals. Go ahead and read it. So you get this ad out the way. So like you got this ad in the way. Let me get that out the way. All right, so this article right here says Saudi Arabia lines up new trade deal beyond oil. It said the new BRICS member Saudi Arabia is seeking to expand its trade deal beyond the traditional oil and gas market. Saudi Arabia is lining up more bilateral trade agreements to diversify its 1.1 trillion economy in this coming years. The kingdom now wants to reduce dependence on oil and boost other forms of trade and investment deals. The diversification of its economy comes on the heels of Saudi Arabia joining the BRICS alliance in 2024. It said the Middle Eastern country also announced that it's open to accepting local currency for oil instead of the U.S. dollar. All right. And it said to know how many sectors in the U.S. will collapse if BRICS stops using the dollar. Okay. So we're going to click on this article to see what sector in the U.S. is going to be affected by this trade deal. All right. All right, and this the title of this article. It says 10 U.S. sectors to be affected by the BRICS stop using the dollars. Okay, it said Salakia. It says 10 U.S. sectors to be affected if the BRICS stop using the dollar. All right. It said the BRICS summit ended on a high note in August after the bloc inducted 6 new countries into the group, leading oil-producing nations Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Egypt, Iran, and Ethiopia will join the alliance in January 2024. Also, Argentina is the only new BRICS member that does not produce and export oil. The one common thing between the 11 members BRICS group is their disdain for the US dollar. Moreover, BRICS is looking to end dependency on the US dollar by promoting their local currency for cross-border transactions. All right. And so right here it says, in this article, we'll highlight the 10 American sectors that could be severely affected if BRICS stop using the US dollar for trade. The American economy could be significantly impacted if other local currency grows stronger in the international market. All right, so we're going to scroll down to the list. It says, a total of 10 financial sectors in the U.S. will be affected if BRICS use local currency and not the U.S. dollar. The sector includes banking, trade, forex, tourism, among other. The U.S. financial sector that could be affected if the BRICS ditch the U.S. dollar are global financial system, banking and finances, energy and commodity markets, international trade and investment, capital markets, consumer goods and retail, production and consumption, technology and fintech, government and policy, and number 10 is travel and tourism. You see, so there you have it right there, man. So this is pretty much the latest news on what to expect in the near future. Okay, and so and this is thus says the prophecy. So we're gonna go get into the scriptures. All right, and the first scripture that comes to mind is Revelation 11 and 14. Okay, because so soon as the BRICS or drop the US dollar, that's gonna start, that's gonna kick off World War III. Okay, so there's Revelation 11 and 14. It said the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And you read this in the NLT version, it said the second terror is past, but look, the third terror is coming quickly. All right, and so you go into the Greek word of woe. Let's see what they say.
Strong's G 3759 Uai. Uai.
And it said biblical outline using this alas woe. And it says strong definition, it says primarily a exclamation of grief. Whoa. Okay, so that's basically what a war would actually bring. It brings grief, it brings sorrow. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can look this up in a Google definition. The word woe in Google. Right. See, it says great sorrow or distress. Okay. Similar definition: misery, sorrow, distress, sadness. Okay. It says things that cause sorrow or distress, trouble. And the things that cause sorrow or distress and trouble are the things that get ready to come up. And the main thing of that is war. Okay, World War III. That's going to cause sorrow, distress, sadness, okay, trouble, difficulty, problem, trial, tribulation. Okay, all of the similar definitions to war. All right, and so that's the first thing that's going to get kicked off when the BRICS nations start not using the US dollars. Okay, that's World War III getting ready to start. Okay, and so not only do you have World War III that's getting ready to start outside of the United States, we're gonna get Second Ezra the 15th chapter. All right, so this is the book of Second Ezra the 15th chapter, and we actually start at verse 10, because right here, verse 10 is gonna mark the reason why, if you're following the false prophets, right? This is Second Ezra 15 and 10. It said, "Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter," right? So how are they led as a flock to the slaughter? Is by those people that those simple-minded individuals. Like as in the book of Proverbs, it said, "The simple believeth every word." Okay, but he said, "The prudent man look well to the going, but the simple are passed on and punished." You know, Luke's paraphrasing. Those are 2 or 3 different scriptures that pretty much says the same thing somewhere in that line in the book of Proverbs, right? And so right here it says in Second Ezra 15 and 10, it gives you the results of those simple-minded individuals, okay? And so it said, "Behold, my people is led is led as a flock to the slaughter. And it says, and I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. All right, in the land of Egypt, when you go into the Revelation, was it 11:18 or the 11th chapter, Revelation 11th chapter, it speaks about uh the land that's spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. And that land is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt is America, okay, aka Babylon the Great. Okay. So Yahweh Shah said, I would not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt. In verse 11, he said what? I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And see, that's and what we just read in those articles are the beginning results, the beginning of sorrow of how Yahweh Shah is going to bring that destruction on America, and how he's smiting Egypt. Right now, he getting ready to, he messing up their economy. Okay, so in the process of their economy being messed up, now they're gonna come the plagues, okay, sedition among men, so on and so forth when we get ready to read. Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep reading, let the scripture speak. Verse 12. Verse 12, it said, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. There goes that word woe again. Great sorrow, distress. We just looked up the definition, right? For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. See, that's the war by way of World War III. And not only do you have World War III, I just recently looked at the article. Matter of fact, let's go get this post that the brother Sapar actually did, and we're gonna come back to the scripture. The brother Shopper actually put a post about the American draft. How 72% of the people is not going to fight for America. All right, real quick, let's go back and get that. All right, here we go. Right here, see this the brother page Shapar of the 12. Right, 12 by, okay, right here it says at the top, 72% of America say they not fighting for America into the draft. See, right here it says 70% of America would not fight for their country, poll shows. All right, and so this probably be another lesson. So, but the point is there, right? And it says a new poll showed that 72% of American voters would not be willing to volunteer to fight for their country if the United States faced a major conflict. And see, the United States is getting ready to face a major conflict in the near future, which is basically next year. We're going to look next year and get ready to face a major conflict. Okay? And so, with this being said, this is going to cause uproar among the people, because you're going to have people that's going to pretty much going to be against this very decision that people, this 72% of all of the people that's making, there's going to be people, think about the other 30%. That's going to be a conflict. Okay? So let's go back into the scriptures. And so what we left off at is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 15. It said, for the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. And the modern day sword is a gun. Verse 16, there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And right here is basically a future prophecy that's getting ready to happen right now. Okay, it's basically, we're that close to this happening. All right, because it says, for they shall not regard their kings nor princes. Okay, the modern day kings and princes are those who uphold the law or try to enforce the law. Pretty much you're a politician. Okay, so you're going to have people in America that are going to go out for those lower level politicians. Okay, and then you got the princes who pretty much are the police officers, the law holders. They're not going to be obeyed in this time, right? And then it says in the course of their action, okay? The course of their action, meaning people here in America, aka Babylon the Great, are going to take matters into their own hands, okay? They're not going to, they pretty much going to say F the law, All right, that's basically what they're gonna say. All right, and verse 17, and it says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." All right, and I remember it was a clip. I want to say about a year ago when I saw it, but this was during the after effect of Hurricane Katrina. Okay, and during that time there was what you call an emergency. There was martial law or something like that, right? And there were people that was trying to evacuate the city. Okay, and the video that I saw was a story of these Jake. Okay, all right, Jake is short for Jacob, the so-called Negroes, Latino, and Native American. But at the time, these Jake was trying to get out of Katrina and get refugees to basically take a bus to go to Texas or wherever they had to get migrated to. And there was pretty much the Edomites that was actually shooting at these Jakes. Okay, so it was like they took matters in their own hands. That the racism showed out during that time. It was a time for them to show that they really hate black people, and they would not, and they knew that the laws was not going to be upholding in those time because there's an emergency. There's nobody around to say, "Hey, you broke this law." So they did whatever they could. All right, and these Jakes were running for their life at that time during the Hurricane Katrina. Okay, and we're going to be looking at this same thing in the near future, man. Okay, so when it says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, it's not going to be those police officers, those people at the toll gate that's going to be uh pretty much at the toll gate. Pretty much, there's going to be regular people, militia group that's going to be doing it. They're holding up people from going to another city. Okay, that's something to think about during these times. Verse 18, it says, "For their for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the house shall be destroyed, and man shall be afraid." And it says that man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their good because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right here, because it says because of the lack of bread. That's twofold right there. Right? Because so as soon the BRICS nation decide that when they make the final decision, that means hyperinflation. The food is gonna be very expensive. It's probably gonna be very expensive to get gas in your car to get from point A to point B. Okay. Uh, and then and they said it's a lack of bread, which is nobody's gonna have the money to afford the hyperinflation. So that's the double whammy right there. All right. Verse 20. No, well, we're in stop it at verse 19 because I actually want to go to get Lamentation, the fourth chapter too, because it's gonna go into more details on what you're gonna see even more. All right, so let's go get that real quick. All right, this is Lamentation chapter 4. The point will be in verse 9 and 10, but we'll start at the top. Okay, because it says Lamentation 4:1, and it says, "How is the gold become dim?" All right, and throughout the scripture, Yahweh Shai called the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latino, and Native American, precious gold, precious metal, so on and so forth. All right, and right here he comparing us to this gold in this situation. Okay, Lamentation 4:1, he said, "How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold. How are they esteemed as earthen pitcher, the work of the hands of the potter? Even the sea monsters draw out the breath, they give suck to their young ones. The daughters of my people is become cruel." Okay, he said the daughters, so he was talking about the women of the nation of Israel becoming cruel to the point where they're vicious as hell, like rabid pit bulls, okay? Like ostrich in the wilderness, all right? And if you know a ostrich will lay their egg, in anywhere pretty much. They and don't even care whether their egg will get smashed on, okay? That's how that's and comparing that to the women of our nation, okay? Verse 4, And it said, the tongue of the sucking child cleaves to the roof of his mouth for thirst. Your young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. So this is talking of starvation, man, and that's what we're leading towards right now. We're looking at that in the near future. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the street. I'm gonna read that again. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the street, and we're talking the people who was used to having everything, the upper, the higher, what in America we call it upper middle class. Okay, you got the celebrities, those who were used to eating good. It's gonna be desolate. They're gonna be bought low. Okay, it's gonna be an even playing field. All right, and it said they that were brought up in the scarlet embraced dunghills. Okay, so they were, those who was living in those mansions, $5 bedroom, they gonna be down in the slums. Okay, verse 6. For the punishment of the iniquities of the daughters of my people is greater than the punishment of the sins of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her. Her Nazarite were purer than snow, they were whiter than milk, they were more ruddy in body than rubies, their polishing was of sapphire. And it says their visage is blacker than a coal. Okay, so we get that the Hebrew word visage is ta'ara, okay, ta'ar, and it says shape, form, outline, figure. Okay, and it says their visage is blacker than a coal. So meaning like when people are starving, their skin starts to turn darker, okay, than their actual color. All right. Reading on, it said they are not known in the street. Their skin cleaves to their bone. It is withered. It is withered. It is become like a stick. All right. Verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, tricking through for want of fruit of the field. In verse 10, and it says, the hands of a pitiful woman have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughters of my people. And so people, it's gonna get to so bad that people are gonna result to cannibalism. Okay, and so that's why when we preach these messages, we like, hey, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Okay, because once this up and coming destruction come, then we can rely on Yahweh Shem Yahushua to feed us. All right. So which that's pretty much gonna be the last precept that I'm having in this lesson. All right. All right. So we're gonna end this off with Isaiah 65th chapter. Okay. Lord willing, this is edifying. So, all right. It's Isaiah 65 and 13. It said, therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And it says, and ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen, for the Lord Yahweh power shall slay thee, and call his servant by another name. And see that servant by another name is that he's going to put his name, his covering is going to be over us. Okay, just like it's basically like a woman when she's basically going to the groom, she's being married, she's getting her name placed on she basically getting her name, her husband's name, Salakia. It's the same thing with us, the servant. Okay, we're going to get the names of Yahweh Ba'atim Yahushua. All right, that's what they're going into. In verse 16, he said that he who blessed himself in the earth shall bless himself in the power of truth, and he that sweareth in the earth shall swear by the power of truth, because the former troubles are forgotten, because they are hid from my eyes. You see, and so that's why we telling you constantly seek ye the Lord while he may be found, because this is what we're looking forward to, especially when the destruction comes, because it's going to come. Okay, you read Habakkuk the second chapter. Okay, it will not tarry; it surely will come. All right, and so this is that warning for you, and it's also an update. You know, what to expect, all right, in the near future. So this is that we give our how about our job about Kakadas. I want to give the honor to the apostle of Great Stone for teaching me the truth 100% clearly. Shalom, Shalom, Kwam Yasharala, Wa Baba Ba, Shalom, until next time, Shalom.